Tom and Joe Auto Show, starring Tom Tharp, the man with face tattoos, and Joe Bucci, professional trapeze artist. They're going to talk your socks off about everything cool in the automotive world. Welcome Tom and Joe.
Hey everybody, welcome to the Tom and Joe Auto Show. Joe, here we are again, episode 2.
Episode 2, man, running it week to week like a well-oiled machine.
Oh, I love it. I love it. We're doing it.
Yeah, this is great. This week we have my brother, Tony, gave us our titles for the week. What did you think of that?
Yeah, it's one of those things. I have face tattoos.
Yeah.
Now, here's the thing.
Okay.
Strategically, I know that can be a bad choice professionally.
Well, yeah, probably.
Face tattoos.
Yeah.
So, they're actually the same exact color as my skin.
Oh,
my face is completely covered. I have just a beautiful tapestry all over.
Right.
It's just the same exact color. Like now if you hit me with like a blue light, you're gonna see it.
Okay.
There's a little dye in there. I mean, and I think you'd find it quite beautiful.
Yeah, you'll have to show me.
But under normal light, it's just like, it's my face.
Right, like, interview for employment lighting.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
But if I go out to the club,
the club?
I go to the club, you know what I'm saying? I go in the club. Now, that's a prop. Now I look like, whoa, look at that guy. I'm like a spectacle.
Yeah, you stand out for sure.
I'm a spectacle at the club on a Tuesday.
Good.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's good. I'm mainly a spectacle, like under a circus tent type environment.
Oh, and my kids love the circus.
Yep.
We'll get into this later. You were just here at my house. I wish I would have known about this talent you had.
Yeah, well, you gotta kind of keep some stuff in your back pocket, and let that information out, as necessary.
I would have loved to have set up a high wire for you.
Oh, that would have been a good time.
Some of those ropey ladders, a couple of them. Maybe
I'm into that stuff.
Get you that sequined outfit that the trapeze artists wear.
Yeah,
that very tight, I don't know, like a leotard.
Right.
That would have been fantastic.
Yeah, I'm very athletic. People that know me know that I'm as athletic as it gets.
Oh, very graceful. Just flipping and flying through the air.
With the greatest of ease.
Oh. Do you operate with a net? Just
I don't know Annette. Is she local? Sorry. I couldn't pass it up.
Oh. Well, you've been hanging around me too long.
Oh yeah, corny jokes. That's where it's at.
That's my specialty. So I got to tell you, Joe. Now, episode 2. I'm a little faded from the company Christmas party last night.
Oh, you had the company Christmas party.
Yeah. It was, and as you get older, it doesn't take much to fade you out.
No, I hear that.
I was just up too late.
Yeah,
that's all. I was just up too late. And
there wasn't like, partying, drinking, or any of that, stuff.
Well, there might have been a little, but I think the main problem, I was just up too late.
Yeah, that's the brunt of it.
Oh man, and I'm still fighting it, man. I mean, phew.
Yeah, I mean, that I just drove back from Indianapolis yesterday. I left Friday night about 10 o'clock, and I arrived home about 2 p.m. on Saturday, and I'm getting kind of old to be doing that,
Yeah, that was a whirlwind trip, too.
It was. I had a great time up there, hanging out with the boys at Fat House Fabrications. Ran into a bunch of the old Nabber guys and other people, from the racing world that, we're familiar with them, and went to the PRI show while I was there.
Okay, well, before we get into that, that's our first topic, the PRI show. I got to give a huge shout-out to our listeners. Joe and I both, I know I'm speaking for you to hear, Joe, really just amazed by the people listening so far, checking it out on all the different places we have it posted, all the positive feedback we've gotten, people, submitting questions. I mean, this was a total experiment, and it still is, but just totally impressed by all of you checking it out and giving us your support, and it's just so greatly appreciated by Joe and I.
Yeah, it's really great. The people on YouTube, the people are sending emails, the people on our Facebook page. And we're trying to.
Dude, my mom.
Your mom. Yeah, that was great.
Mom, I'm not sure how she listened to the podcast. I haven't helped her set this technology up. She's got an iPhone. Obviously, she got in there and just figured it out. So, way to go, Mom. Good work.
Yeah, that's great. It's been fun trying to get back to everybody, replied, to their comments and some of their questions. So the rest of their questions we're going to try to get to here on the show.
Yep. And I don't want to look back too much on the previous episode, but noticed a couple of the old Tampa Bay DSM guys came in and offered some support and comments, and I thought that was really cool too.
Yeah, that was great.
So, okay, Joe, well, let's jump into our first topic, which is the PRI show. Now, folks may not know of the PRI show. It stands for the Performance Racing Industry, and their tagline is where racing gets down to business. And it's known as the #1 industry trade show for folks in the racing industry.
Right.
And just to give you some quick numbers on it, it says it's the world's largest racing trade show. There are 1,100 exhibitors. There are 40,000 buyers at the show, and there's folks from 72 countries represented. I didn't even know there were 72 countries, Joe. I got to be honest. And this just went down in Indianapolis. So
yes.
This is different from SEMA.
Yeah. This is more networking, making contacts and that sort of thing for business owners and manufacturers.
And more focused on racing and that racing industry.
Yeah, less about like customizing and stuff like that. And it's mostly about racing and building race cars, tooling and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, interesting.
And it was fun. I went with the guys from Fat House Fabrications, who were there, to do business. Mostly they were wanting to make some contacts for materials and tools and that sort of thing. The place was enormous. I don't know exactly how many square feet it was, but I can tell you this. My iPhone told me I walked 4.95 miles in that building.
Oh, my gosh. And how many days were you actually at the show?
Well, the show was a 3-day event, and I was kind of limited on the amount of time I had there. I had to head back to Florida, but I went there for the first full day on Thursday. We got there about 9 or so, and we left about 4 o'clock, and it was just nonstop walking. But it was the kind of walking where it's like so interesting that you're not worried about, all the walking. You're just like, look at that.
You know what? And to say you walked 5 miles, like on any normal day, it's like 5 miles. But inside of a convention center,
yeah, I know. It seems crazy.
I know. I went to SEMA a few years ago, and I didn't track how far, but I just knew. I think I went for 3 days, and I know at the end of each day I was just so exhausted and wore out.
Yeah.
And so much to see.
Yeah, I was definitely feeling it. And I don't know if it was my old age catching up with me or what, but I was a little sore. Being the athletic guy that I am.
Yeah, well, you can't swing from exhibit to exhibit in
right.
Trapeze style.
Yeah, that would have been right in my element, but that wasn't available. So, yeah, I spent the whole day there on Thursday, walked, I would say, 70 or 80% of the building. I saw some really cool stuff, anything from full race car builds to, race car parts, tooling, like I was saying, fluids, any aspect of a race car that you would need to acquire. They had booths, they were manufacturers. They could tell you anything you wanted to know about those things.
Yeah, amazing. And I'm flipping through some photo galleries. I found a handful of photo galleries online.
Okay.
And when you see the pictures, there's not necessarily a description with the pictures. So what you're seeing is just sort of like an overload of coolness. Like right now, it's like you just see hand-fabricated valve covers and a giant set of turbochargers down at the front, sticking out of the front fascia. It's just like overload here. And, here's a picture of like 20 cylinder heads. It must be Brodix or something, I think, their booth. But it seems like many of the booths had a vehicle or two showing off their parts and such.
Yeah,
like
they did.
An actual race car that races.
Right. Yeah, it was very cool. Like off the top of my head, one that stuck out to me, being a front-wheel drive drag racer type of guy, was the Vibrant booth. Cole Marmon's sport front-wheel drive Civic was there. And it was really cool to get to look at that car up close and see how a car, a low 8-second front-wheel drive car with glass in it and working doors, what it looks like up close. It was really cool.
Oh, yeah, would have loved to have seen that. I mean, I'm flipping through here. Here's a Copo Camaro.
Yep.
I mean, it's just so much. I mean, what I found when I went to SEMA years ago is that I sort of, and I get this at the shootout too,
Okay.
where you reach this sort of saturation point.
Yeah.
Where you sort of can't focus on anything.
Yeah, it gets to be difficult, especially since there's some distributors there. And a distributor might offer dozens of different manufacturers' parts. So their booth is displaying all those parts. And then around the corner is each of those manufacturers' booths separately.
Wow.
So, you might see the same thing a couple times, but you can get a little bit more information directly from the manufacturer, or you can get a wide variety of things from the distributor.
I tell you, one thing I like as I'm flipping through these photos is, although there are some beautiful cars as far as just exterior-wise and aesthetically, but it looks to be all about go. The show, it's all about function and performance first.
Yep, absolutely. It definitely is.
Oh, love that.
Yeah, it's great. There was some really cool race cars there. There was a couple of the cars from Street Outlaws, the TV show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, there was Farm Truck and Asian, who are a couple. I know you're not 100% familiar with the show, but they were there wandering around, and Farm Truck was there.
I just saw a picture of it flipping through this gallery here.
Cool.
I love the videos of that car online too.
Yeah,
or that truck. Sorry.
Right. Yeah, that's a serious sleeper, So there was anything from that to I ran into the Steve Roth driven 69 Camaro, orange Pro Street Camaro that I believe held the street car record up until recently when Mr. Larson took that over.
Yeah.
The most amazing thing about that car was the street, and I say that in quotes, street tire setup on the back of it.
Oh, yeah? Tell me about it.
Oh, man, they had to be, 22-inch wheels, I would say, with a pretty low-profile radial tire on there that was like 20 inches wide.
Oh, my gosh. Some custom-made tire or something.
Yeah, like the total dimensions were the size of the slick tire that he probably runs at the track, but it just looked like a low profile radial. It was very interesting to see on the car. It kind of made you take a double take.
Yeah, weird look, I'm sure.
Yeah, and the car was so low to the ground.
Yeah, I would love to have seen this stuff. I'm looking at the C6R Corvette.
Oh yeah,
the yellow.
It was. Yeah, there was a couple of full-on race cars like that. There was an Audi R8, like LMS Ultra or something to that effect. I know I've heard of it before, but that was a beautiful car. There were Indy cars there, dragsters, off-road vehicles, tractor pull vehicles with half a dozen V8 engines on them.
I'm writing this down. In a future episode, we're going to have to talk about tractor pulling.
Okay.
I don't want to get off on a tangent, so I'm just noting that for the future.
Right. All right. Noted. I got it. Well, we can do that.
I'm just going to say this one thing about tractor pulls. If you haven't been, these are some hardcore turbo guys.
Oh, yeah.
Serious.
Yep. As a matter of fact, there was kind of on the subject of tractor pulls and turbos, there was a dragster there with some kind of giant diesel engine with a compound turbo setup on it.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, a rail, it was really cool.
Love to see that thing run, doing I like the combination. When they get the combination of the white smoke from the burnout, and then the black smoke from the whatever coal or whatever's coming out. I mean, like literally chunks
yes.
of diamonds. I don't know what comes out the tailpipe out the top. Love that.
Yeah, it was great. They had some pictures exactly like what you're talking about there in the booth where the dragster was. It was really cool.
If they could somehow combine that the coal and the white burnout and fire. Oh my gosh, my head might explode.
The trifecta.
Oh, it is. That is the trifecta.
Cool. Well, there was besides the race cars and the parts, you'd expect to see from anything from Edelbrock to, Weld Racing Wheels. It just all the big names you expect to see. There was a lot of cool technology there. There was a 3D printing, a couple 3D printing booths, one of which I stopped and talked to the gentleman there for a short period of time. They had printed brake rotors that were used. They were made out of plastic, printed out of plastic, but they were perfect for a mock-up situation.
Oh, that would be
before
great.
You went to production. Yeah. They had all kinds of good stuff in the 3D printer booth. They had the printers there running. They had CNC machines. All kinds of tubing benders and brakes, sheet metal brakes, and that sort of stuff.
One thing, and I got to tell you, Joe, I'm loving this role you've taken on of field reporter, where you get to go to all these cool events and then come back and just tell me all about it. This is great. I hope everybody's enjoying this. The Joe, the man on the streets, he's out, getting the information, looking at the cool stuff, telling you about it.
Live from downtown Indianapolis.
Yeah, I love it, man. I love it. Gosh, I would have loved to have been there. I got to make it to that show someday because it sounds like it's right up my alley because I'd liked SEMA, but there was so much and I tried to see so much. I wish I could have filtered it down to sort of more of the performance. I wish I could have filtered out some of the, customizing type stuff.
Yeah, I understand.
Because I was trying to, go for those things, but there's so much of that everywhere. So it sounds like it's right up my alley. I have to make plans to get out there.
Yeah, you could be my assistant reporter.
Oh, I love it, man. Yes, that'd be fun. I see a future video in the works there for sure.
Yeah, that would be good. So yeah, the trip to Indianapolis, to the PRI show specifically, was it was a lot of fun. We took a break for lunch and went over to the Ram restaurant. If any local Indianapolis people or travelers have been there, it was a great restaurant and brewery. What did I have? Some kind of double-decker thing it was called, and it was a hamburger with pulled pork on it, and it was amazing.
And I'm still trying to remember if that is the place in Indianapolis where I got this super hot shrimp cocktail. That's what they're famous for. It's like one of their things they're famous for.
Right.
And I can't remember if it's that restaurant or another. If anybody knows, please comment and let me know or whatever. But it was the kind of horseradishy hot that sort of you felt like your head was caving in, kind of.
Right. It can be pretty intense.
Like that first time you try that little glob of wasabi.
No, that's guacamole. Just grab a big spoonful.
It's the first time you try and you just throw the whole ball in there of that wasabi. It's that same exact effect. Like I might die. That's that feeling, that you get for a few minutes. And then it passes and you're fine.
Yeah, it was a good time though. They had it was a brewery, like I said, as well, and they had some delicious adult beverages they were able to offer. So we had a good time there.
Cool. So, let's see here. Anything else? So about PRI, give me a final thought on it. As far as, did you see anything specific? You're in the midst of building a car, which has to be the best time to go to a show like this.
Oh boy, yeah.
Because you're looking around, you're getting ideas, you're like, hey, I'm going to use ARP's bolts and stuff. You're seeing different vendors you're going to use. Was there anything specific you saw or you learned about your build?
Well, to be honest, I was very focused in that aspect of looking for some things that would pertain to the current race car build I'm working on. I did come across the Weld Wheels booth, where I was able to take a closer look at the Weld RTS wheels that I plan on running on my car. So that was good. I tried to find the Mickey Thompson booth because they're coming out with some new drag tires, and I had some questions for them, but I never did find the Mickey Thompson booth. I even asked some of the guys who went on Friday to take a look for me and ask those questions, but they didn't run into them either, so I guess they weren't there. Other than that, some of the other stuff I looked at was pretty overwhelming. Like you say, it's like overload. You go to, say, the Wiseco piston booth, and they have 100 different pistons in there.
Yep.
And I'm like, where's the Mitsubishi 4G63 piston area?
amongst this cornucopia of pistons laid out before me. That's how I felt when I went to Summit Racing. Their showroom there. I mean, it was like, it was the same exact thing where they had just rows and rows of, and it was just so much, and your brain just kind of shuts down. You can't even concentrate or focus on any one thing. And
yep.
Yeah, well, that's cool.
It starts to kind of look the same for a minute. But I did stop by the Haltech booth, grabbed some information, since I'm kind of looking into maybe running a Haltech Elite. I also, where did I stop? I don't want to waste too much time thinking about it. But I did take a look at some things, and I collected lots of brochures and catalogs and those sort of things, so I can take a closer look in the future.
Did you get any stickers?
Oh, man. So many stickers.
When I went to SEMA, I came back with a suitcase full of stickers and little stress balls and stuff.
Oh, yeah, I got a stress ball.
Some of the coolest stuff I got from SEMA back then was all this STI stuff, Subaru.
Oh, really?
Tons of, all these really weird little STI tchotchkes, and I still have them. There's lanyards, these pink STI lanyards.
Yep.
And little screen cleaners.
Okay.
All sorts of, and all sorts of little odds and ends. And I actually used to just give them out at car meets and stuff because I had so many of them. They gave me a bucket of them. But anyway, it's little cool things you collect like that over the years from shows like that.
Yeah, I got lots of pens. I got lots of koozies, for cans or whatever. I got some useful stuff. I got some pumice hand cleaner. I got some little oiling containers. They're like pen-sized containers of oil from Brad Penn.
Huh. Now, what would you do with that?
Well, it was funny because before we even went to the show, when I was at Fat House's shop, he was putting a hose end together and needed a little bit of lubricant.
Oh,
so
there
he grabbed this little thing. He said, I got this at last year's PRI show. And he used it. And then we ran across the Brad Penn booth when we were there. He says, hey, there they are. Grab some of those oilers.
I thought maybe that you had to be such a hardcore car guy that you actually you sign your name in oil. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I didn't think about that. There was no qualifications,
right?
Or application I had to fill out.
I think you found a more practical use with the the fitting there.
Yeah, just a little shop lubricant, But yeah, I definitely came back with a big bag of stuff, including a really nice Valvoline trucker cap.
Ah, yeah, the real deal.
I might have to start wearing that in my videos.
Yeah, we'll have to see that, Joe.
All right, we'll see what I can do. Well, so I guess that's pretty much what I have for PRI at this point.
Yeah, you want to take a break?
Yeah, let's take a break, and as we come back, we'll talk a little bit about where you might be able to get some more info on PRI.
All right, sounds good. Welcome back, everyone. Let's give a little shout out to our website. We're at tomandjoeshow.com. You can email us at tomandjoesemail@gmail.com. You can search for us on Facebook, The Tom and Joe Show. And also, I'd like to give a little shout out to Joe's YouTube page. If you go on YouTube and just search for Joe Wrenches, it'll pop up. Look for the beard. You'll see the beard, the beard icon on there.
Yep, that's it.
Yep.
Yeah, and as far as my YouTube channel goes, if you do visit over there, keep an eye out. Sometime during the week here, I should have a video about my trip, including a lot of footage from PRI. So that'll be a lot of fun. Check it out. Let me know what you think of it.
Yeah, definitely looking forward to that. And some of you may have seen, I posted a video last Friday.
Oh, I saw this video.
I know, and I'm not one to put up teasers and stuff, and I like to leave folks hanging sometimes. It's kind of part of the fun, suspense. It's all fun. But I know, and I didn't give folks much to chew on that one, I'm afraid.
No, that was pretty ambiguous.
There was a box.
There was a box,
and one person actually asked me if that was you, if you were in the box. And
someone asked if I was in the box,
and I didn't see any holes punched in it. I think you would need some holes, maybe
I would.
A little slot for food and water. I don't know,
at least.
But some other folks noticed that there's potentially a new jumpsuit named
Mitch.
Yeah, new coveralls. I'm pretty excited about that.
That's good. I definitely don't want to let any cats out of any bags or anything, but I did see that box in person.
Yeah, Joe is he's on a gag order right now. He's not allowed to speak of anything cool that he's seen here. He was in the flesh at the Turbo Garage.
That's right.
Just a few days ago, which it was lots of fun having you here too, Joe.
Yeah, I really had a blast hanging out. I wish we had more time.
Yeah, the kids. I think the kids had the most fun with you being here.
Yeah, that was cool. It made me feel important.
I think one of my favorite memories. It's always the little things. It's Joe waking up. He's had a whirlwind trip. He drove all this way. He wakes up one morning, and my son, who's 4, is just talking his face off. Just Joe this, Joe that, Joe this. Just jabberjawing. And Joe is tired. He's bleary-eyed. He's trying to, drink down his coffee. And here's my son just all over him. He wants him to play, I don't know, Transformers or whatever. Just all over you, man. Oh, that was. Oh yeah. That's what kids do. They sense that weakness.
He had a lot to say, man. And I kind of think he might be able to sit in for me on the show, sometime.
Oh yeah. Oh, if we start talking like the rescue bots.
Oh yeah, he's down, huh?
Yeah, which are the Transformers who do good, and
yeah.
he could go on about those for sure.
Great. Well, yeah, that's a future episode.
Yeah, so the teaser video's up there, folks. I've got some awesome speculation, some funny comments. I love when people comment and just guess something like crazy, like a turbocharged moped or something. I love comments like that.
That's close.
As much as I love the legitimate hey, watch it, Joe. Watch it. As much as I love the legitimate comments, like, hey, it's this, and that, based on the actual what they're saying, I love the off the wall, like, impossible ones too.
Oh yeah, well, you left it pretty wide open, with the box is the best by far, but like the crazy Cloud Man and stuff like that.
Cloud Man, yes, all will be revealed. And you know what? It's going to be late January. I'll give you a little more. It's I said early 2015. It's going to be late January. So look for some cool stuff coming around that time.
Oh, it seems like forever.
Yeah, I know. But with the holidays and everything, it'll be here before you know it. And speaking of that, let's move to our next topic, Joe, which is a little project update.
Okay, that sounds good.
Now, the last thing I worked on was the Galant VR4, my 1991 Galant VR4, and I had lots of fun with that series, start to finish, and I don't consider it done by any means. I get a lot of comments and folks asking, will we ever see it again, or are you selling it, or something like that, and definitely not selling it. In fact, Joe and I went for a ride in it while he was here.
Yeah, we sure did. That car is great.
Went and had some brunch. That was fun, and but definitely not getting rid of it. Still want to take it to the track, and there's a lot I still want to do with it, and I really enjoy the car. I drive it often, but I will have a little video coming up. My goal is to have it to all of you by Christmas Eve or so, a little Christmas gift under the tree from me. It's the least I could do, and we'll have I think I'm doing a couple of modifications and things that you might not expect, but I think you'll really like.
I think I heard a little bit about it, but we'll see.
More teasing by me. Is that what the world needs? I don't think so.
No, I think that's why everybody comes here, is to be teased by Tom.
Oh my goodness. Ugh, excruciating. It's excruciating.
It is.
So how about you, Joe?
Well, as some of you know, some of you listeners know, I know you know, Tom, I did stop at Tom's place on the way to Indiana, and the reason I went to Indiana, besides to go to the PRI show, was to pick my Eclipse up from Fat House Fabrications, where they had completed the 850 certified roll cage.
Nice.
Yeah. Man, I'm going to start posting some pictures of it coming up here. There have been a couple floating around on Facebook and that sort of thing.
Yeah, I've seen some of those.
It's great. It's what would be classified as a 10-point roll cage with a parachute, pack, mount, and anchor. It has a window net. It has a pair of Kirky aluminum seats in it. And they also made front and rear roll stop mounts for my engine. And they used this material. It's called Docol. And actually, one of our listeners left a comment about Docol. I believe it was on YouTube. Docol R8, it's called.
Yeah, I saw the link that gentleman posted, and I read up on it. I knew nothing.
Okay, good.
I knew nothing of this material, and I thought the link he shared was really helpful, and seems like great stuff. Now, what classification did you say the cage was?
It's certified to 850 and slower.
Now, my classification of it, after seeing some of the pictures floating around, would be lickable.
Yeah, lickable is that's good.
That is a status of build that where everything is so clean and precise that you can actually run your tongue on it.
Well, I think part of that is the material. The material
actually
is much cleaner.
It has a flavor, the material.
Yeah, Docol is a flavor. They make jelly beans, Docol jelly beans now.
Oh, jeez. Where has this gone? I've taken us off the rails. I'm sorry, Joe. Back to the topic.
It's okay.
So, back on track.
Okay, well, part of it is the material. A big part of it is the material. According to the guys at Fat House, it welds much easier. It's much cleaner, less splatter, that sort of thing. The material itself looks cleaner. Even the raw material itself looks like someone hit it with a Scotch-Brite or polished it up or something.
Yeah, the pictures look like that.
Yeah, compared to chromoly and definitely mild steel. It's very clean, but, I also attribute that to the way the cage looks in its final, completed setup is to the guys at Fat House and the kind of work they do. They're really good at what they do.
Now, I think I saw you post a video of you actually doing some work in their shop.
Yeah, I did.
What were you
post a quick
doing?
video. I was helping Ben out with a little industrial project they were working on.
Yeah, fine.
I was cutting some angle steel, precision cutting some angle steel.
Yeah, it looked like a low-speed
bandsaw.
Yeah, just like a low-speed bandsaw. That's cool.
Yep.
Yeah, I'd love to do that.
Yeah, it was fun hanging out in the shop a little bit, sweeping, cleaning up, engine fluids and things like that.
Yeah.
Entry-level work.
Yeah, shop monkey, I believe is the
right.
correct term for that. Well, that's good.
Yeah,
They
it was
put
a
you
good
to work.
time. Yeah, they did.
So the car...
Ben warned me.
Yeah, so the car is in your garage.
Yeah, it is. I rolled it off the
goodness.
trailer yesterday afternoon and put it in the garage and stood there and admired it for a little while.
Now the fun and the work begins.
Yeah. There's so much that needs to be done to the car. It's still just a bare chassis with a roll cage in it.
Yeah.
Most important thing that needs to be done to it at this point is I need to get paint on it so that the cage doesn't oxidize and I can start doing some of the other work that needs to be done to it. So that's kind of the direction I'm going at this point.
Yep. So what you do, something that really stuck in my head from our last episode is you open up that door that leads to your garage and get it nice and cool and comfortable in your garage, and air conditioned comfort in there.
Well, unfortunately, I'm not going to need to do that at this time of the year.
Oh, you're in winter in Florida, where it's 75? What is it down there?
Right. Well, winter is. I'm actually looking at the weather right now.
Winter
outside.
is upon you.
Yeah, right now it's 66 degrees out.
Ooh.
It's going to warm up to 70 or 72 for the next 7 days or so. So, it's acceptable car-wrenching weather.
Yeah, enjoy that, Joe. We got to get off this subject of weather right away. This is an abort.
Okay, we can change the subject.
So let's move on. We have a recurring segment. This is the first time we're debuting it today in episode 2, Joe.
All right.
It's called Dude, Did You See That?
Dude, did I see that?
Now, you were here in the flesh.
Yep.
Joe and I watching YouTube videos together.
And you said to me, dude, did you see that?
And this video, I'm sure some of you have seen this. There's a few different Facebook pages and things where they repost these videos, and they sort of, they pick up this steam, in different pages, Facebook pages and things, and Twitter. They just take on a life of their own, these videos getting posted all over the place. This one was Runaway Diesel Engine.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I wasn't exactly sure what you meant until you showed me the video.
Yeah, you hadn't heard of that term.
No, I didn't.
And I'd heard of it a few years ago, but it wasn't. I still don't fully understand what's happening. I got to be honest. I mean, I read it once I saw the video. I read up on it and thought, wow, what a crazy, mechanical situation that is that causes it. And I'm not going to do it any justice, but to explain it, it's when a diesel engine, there's a set of circumstances that happens, and the revs start shooting up. It's like it just starts feeding on itself, and the turbocharger spool, the boost spikes through the roof. The RPMs are shooting up, and so in this video, should I take everybody through it?
Yeah, you should definitely. Yeah, okay. Step by step.
So there is the poster of the video. It's not just one video that ended up on the internet. From what I understand, he has a fairly popular YouTube channel. And he's built a series of diesel-powered, rods, and this sort of had like a rat rod look to it. But he's got some pretty cool videos, and I checked him out. So definitely his channel looks pretty awesome. But in this video, it looks like he's got a tripod and a camera set up, or girlfriend filming or something, and he's sort of getting this thing running for the first time. It looks like it's in an old truck, in this old diesel engine, like with the mechanical fuel pump and all that, like an old, I don't know, Cummins or whatever. And so he's kind of throttling it and getting it running, and then suddenly, here we go. Runaway Diesel, right?
Things escalate very quickly.
And this sounds like it could be a Vin Diesel movie. Like Vin Diesel as himself in Runaway Diesel. Okay, anyway. So here he is. He's futzing with it. When you're getting your car running the first time, you're playing with the idle, you're looking at it, making sure there's no leaks and all this. Anyway, he's doing all that stuff. And then suddenly, boom, Runaway Diesel. Boost, going through the roof, smoke, black smoke. And this guy, in a just Joe Cool, this guy keeps it together.
It was heroic.
Heroic. He grabs, I don't know what it is. It's like a rag or some sort of piece of something, a doormat, floor mat.
Yeah, I'm not sure what it was.
Floor mat to an 87 Grand Am. I don't know what it is. He grabs this thing and just shuts off the inlet of the turbo. Just jams it right in there. And the engine, but it's still going a little bit. It still wants to run away. So what's he do? He does just what a man would do, Joe. Just sticks the palm of his hand right over the inlet of that turbo. And just chokes the life out of it. Like,
oh yeah, with his bare hands.
To me, that's like say you're in the forest and a bear, just a 6-foot bear comes up on you. It's just like wrapping your hands right around the bear's neck and just choking it out.
That's
like a rear naked choke on a foot. Like that's what this guy does. He just like forces his will onto this engine and just shuts it down with his bare hand. It's...
you could just watch the life drain out of this diesel engine.
And that's it, and it shuts down. And then my favorite part of the video, which is, people comment on this in the comments, is the girlfriend or whatever. What happened? What happened? That's my favorite part. Dudes, if you got a girlfriend or a wife that ever helps you in the garage, it's that classic moment where something goes wrong and it's the last thing you want to hear. It's that, what happened? Like you're going to sit and break it down right there. Anyway, I love that part of the video. But excellent video. You got to check it out. Just search for Runaway Diesel. It probably has 10 billion views, and you'll find it.
Yeah, it was a good video for sure. I wonder if any of our listeners could explain to us exactly what happens there. I don't know a lot about diesels, but I kind of understand that they kind of run on the how much fuel enters the engine. They don't really have a throttle plate or normal spark plugs or that sort of thing. So I just wonder exactly how that happens.
I don't know. It was scary as heck, man. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, definitely scary.
But the guy's got a video just quickly that he posted on his channel as well, and it might be the same vehicle where he's got a transmission set up in it where he's got like 3 sticks that he shifted.
Oh, okay.
And it's like it must be something like from a semi or something.
Yeah.
And he's got a low-high, like a what do you call it, like a 2-speed box, some sort of gear reduction deal. So he's going to town and double clutching and going all through these gears. He's got like 50 gears. I mean, it reminded me of Fast and Furious a little bit, where they keep shifting through the race like 40 times.
Yeah.
And but he is just like this. I got to meet this guy.
Yeah, he seems pretty interesting.
He does, man. This is an intense dude. He's my kind of guy right there. All right, so
Very cool.
we'll do another dude. Did you see that in the future? We come across something like Runaway. I don't know how you top Runaway Diesel, but I'm sure it could happen.
Oh yeah, you see crazy, especially YouTube videos. You see crazy stuff all the time.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to our next topic here, our final topic of episode 2, and that is listener questions.
All right.
And I mentioned
listener questions.
I mentioned that just totally blown away by we got more topic suggestions than questions, and so we've made notes of all these, and our goal is to incorporate these into future shows. So thank you again for sending those in, and please continue to do so. Now, Joe, I believe you have one there. You want to read yours?
Yeah, let's start with this one. I received an email from a gentleman by the name of Colin. In this email, he goes into pretty good detail here about a vehicle that he's had. He's had it for quite some time. It's been stored away, and he's looking for some advice on it. I'm not 100% sure if this is our forte, but let's go ahead and see what we can help him with.
Let's not let that stop us, Joe.
No, definitely not. We'll definitely come up with something for him. So what he has here, what Colin has, is a 1979 Ford Mustang.
Oh, yes. I can picture it.
Okay.
I think the square headlights, the sort of pointy front end. I can see it right now.
Yep.
Shades of brown interior.
Brown is where it's at.
Brown
in 79.
interior, dude. Yep. Shades of brown.
So the cool thing about this Mustang is, in Colin's words, it's not quite your typical Mustang.
Oh, I like it.
In this particular year, this was the year that Ford introduced their 4-cylinder, 2.3-liter turbocharged engine.
That's a good piece of trivia. I bet a lot of people wouldn't guess that they were doing that in 79.
No, I don't think so.
4-cylinder turbo in 79 in a Mustang. Unless you're a Mustang diehard,
Right.
I don't think most people wouldn't guess that.
Yeah, people are familiar with the SVO vehicle.
Coming later on, yeah.
Yeah.
This was the non-SVO. This was the precursor to the SVO.
Right. It was. It's kind of like the Buick T-Type to the Grand National.
Yep.
This 2.3-liter turbocharged engine, it wasn't very powerful, but in 79, nothing was really very powerful.
Sure. You're absolutely. So, but I'm sure for what it was at the time, it was a very competitive offering as far as engines go,
Yeah. Colin says that in that time, it compared quite well to the average V8 of the 1979.
I'm sure it did. Yep.
So the kind of quirky thing about this 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, I like 4-cylinder turbocharged engines. This one in particular is carbureted. Oh my
goodness! Whoa!
Yeah,
my head.
Carburetors.
Slow down, Joe.
I'm sorry.
This is I'm having a tough time with this one. Okay, go on. If you must, go on.
Okay. Well, carburetors. I don't know.
I'm working through it over here.
For any of our listeners, whenever you hear the word carburetor, just assume voodoo magic.
It is.
That's what it is.
There's holes, and the gas goes into the hole.
That's it. That's summing it up. That's what.
That's how it works.
Oh, boy.
So there you go. So what's going on? Is this thing running all right? Is it?
Well, he's had it in storage for quite some time.
Carburetor in storage. I don't like where it's going.
No, I know it. Since 1992, this car has been in storage. He would like to get it running and back on the road, and with the stipulation that he wants to stick with the carbureted turbo configuration.
I like it. I like what he's doing there, keeping it original. I'm sure this is a car. These have to be getting rare, those of that vintage, especially. And if it's in good
Yeah, like you say, I didn't even know they made this car.
Yep. So
before the
I'm with
SVO.
him 100% to keep it, in that configuration for sure.
Yeah, I totally agree. He's wanting to know what he can do to maybe try to make it a little bit more powerful. Probably, he says some of the sources he have found suggest going with a blow-through instead of the stock draw-through setup.
And for anybody that doesn't know about that setup, that's where the actual carburetor is positioned before the turbocharger inlet.
Right. On a draw-through, it's the carburetor's before the turbo, and on the blow-through, the carburetor's after the turbo.
So you have the holes where the gas is going in the hole, and then that mixture gets sucked into the blades of the turbocharger. I mean, it's crazy. It's but very common in that era of turbocharged cars.
Yeah, it was. So he wants to know what he can do with that. Maybe some thoughts on intake setups, ignition upgrades, headwork, or blow-off valves, intercoolers, boost gauges, all those sort of things.
I have the answer to that.
Oh, great.
Yep, I've been doing lots of research on this topic, and the answer is yes.
That is the best answer, Tom.
Yes. So all those things you listed, right? Give me an idea of some of those again. Let me hear a couple of those.
Let's blow-off valves, intercoolers, ignitions, intakes.
Yes.
All those things.
Yes. Okay. Obviously, I'm covering up for my just unbearable lack of knowledge on this setup. This is a unicorn to me.
Yeah, I'm not going to be much of a help either, Mr. Colin from Utah. I can tell you that a very good friend of mine had an RX-7 back several years ago, and we kind of didn't know that much about cars at this point. We were kind of just getting into them, and he brought his RX-7 to a shop in Fort Lauderdale and said, "Here, turbocharge this." And the setup that they put on the car was a draw-through turbocharged setup, carbureted setup.
Wow.
And it worked just fine.
Yeah.
Can you believe it?
I know. These obnoxious fuel injection guys are all the same. They just write off carburetors like they're pointless. But no, obviously, carburetors are very feasible, and it's amazing that they work so well with a turbocharger setup. But when the setup is right, when everything's dialed in, but I would have to imagine that whenever I get lots of car questions about cars that, BMW questions. I get lots of BMW questions. I know very little about BMWs, unfortunately.
Right.
I respect them and love them, but, know very little. But I always try to look for some decent online community or frequently asked questions area or something and point people in that direction. So, and I'm sure Colin has been down that road. And, that's unfortunately the best advice I have to give until I look into this crazy unicorn a little more.
Yeah, I think that maybe we should take some time to research it a little bit, Tom, and we might find some interesting, discussion about it that we can bring up in a later show.
I love it. That's a great idea, and thank you, Colin, for introducing us. And maybe this car was somewhere in the back of my head, because there's been a few times in my life that I have thought about an SVO, and just always been intrigued by that setup, and I think historically it's an important car of its time. And
I agree.
And so thank you for bringing that to our attention. I wasn't aware of a 79 carbureted like that, so I can't wait to do a little research on that and look it up.
No, it sounds like a very cool car, Colin. I think you're taking the right route on it. It's going to be more special in the future, I believe. And speaking of the future, what it makes me think of is the new 2015 Mustang with the EcoBoost 4-cylinder.
Oh my goodness, it's like what's old is new again. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
Here we are, and what's amazing is if the 4-cylinder Mustang, since the turbo was long gone many years ago, the 4-cylinder Mustang was always the butt of every joke. I mean,
Right.
I mean, it was so slow back in the day compared to the V8s and such, but now, I mean, from what I've seen, the initial things and some of the, I think Cobb is tuning them, and they posted some videos
Yes.
online. These things are serious. I mean, they're excellent running cars. They sound awesome.
Yeah, it sounds like they have a lot of potential. They're gathering a lot of aftermarket support right now, and I think you're going to see big things out of that car.
I can't wait. And news about a Focus, what was it, the Focus RS?
Yes.
And I wasn't sure I didn't know if they said it was going to be front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive.
From what I understand, the Focus RS will be all-wheel drive and somewhere over 300 horsepower.
Amazing. I cannot wait to see that. I love it. I have a friend, Eric. He has a Focus, the Focus ST that he's modified a little bit. It is a great car. He loves it. He's making good power out of it. It's running great. And I know he's watching that real close, too. He might upgrade to the all-wheel drive, I have a feeling, as well. But what a great car. What a great world we live in when they're bringing that thing over finally.
Yeah, it's great.
So
definitely in a future show, we'll talk more about some of the modern horsepower wars that we're a part of right now.
And we'll cover these auto shows, give our thoughts on those, and I'm sure they'll be showing that off at Detroit or somewhere coming up soon, hopefully. So the second question I have here, now this is one of my favorite YouTube users. I don't know, that name user is kind of weird, but one of my YouTube friends, I don't know how you call it.
Yeah.
Every time he posts a comment, it's like I raffle. Can I say that? Raffle? Is that what the kids are saying these days? No.
Yeah, the kids do say that.
I just laugh every time I see one of his comments. They're always great. And so this is my man, Green Rolades. I had to spit that out.
Green Rolades. All right.
Green Rolades. And his question, I guess it's a question, sort of I love how it's written. To stance or not to stance? That is the question.
That is the question. Wow.
I love it. I love how it's written. I love the topic. Well done, Green Rolades. I hope to shake your hand someday.
Yes.
Yes, there we go. We're both clapping. Okay, Joe. Can I confess something here?
Yeah,
Can I just
go ahead,
let me
Tom.
step into the confession booth here for a
We're
minute?
friends. It's just you and
it's just
I
you
right
and me.
now.
Yeah, no one hears this. I kind of like it. I saw something drive down the road. I think it might have been, I don't even know what it was. It was just at night, and it was black, some black, cool-looking car. It sounded good, and it was stanced out, had the deep dish going on, and it looked good. I mean, I was like I appreciated the look, and how they went to that effort for that look.
Okay, yeah, I could appreciate the effort.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can.
Obviously, I mean, the car was crystal clean. It was an older car, so it was one that they'd kept clean. It was clean and straight and well done. It wasn't all stickered up or anything crazy. It was just really, It was clean and well done. And this was sort of it was obviously well thought out, and they'd put some love into this thing. So I respected that and liked it.
Right.
So what do you think about that?
Well, what I think is that you and I think we're very similar. We have a lot of the same tastes, especially when it comes to car stuff. But I'm just not a fan of the Stance Nation. I'm not.
I think I told you this before, but I rolled up on a Stance show. It was what was the name of it? Fat Lace or Laced Up? Gosh, I sound so old right now. Gosh, it's unbearable to me to even listen to myself talk. So Laced Up, I just happened to roll up on this car show. I was in the Gallant and followed some folks over there, and everyone really loved it. It was just something completely different in that crowd. But, I enjoyed checking it out. I sort of respect that that's what they're into, and they put a lot of effort to do that. Now, on the other hand, I also love performance and functionality. To me, functionality is beautiful.
Yeah, absolutely.
And functionality drives performance. It drives lots of things. It and when I see functionality, it just makes me happy. And when I look at that, I see something that isn't functional.
Right.
Is that how you feel about it?
Yeah. I just, I don't want to sound old either, but, what's the point?
No, okay.
Do I sound old?
Yes. Really old, Joe. You sounded really old right now. But I do too, I'm sure. But to me, it just looks like something that doesn't perform in any way other than being parked. And
not only it doesn't even. I wouldn't say it doesn't perform. It looks dangerous. Some of these cars are
it does look dangerous.
They can't be easy to drive. They can't handle well.
Right. Yes. It's just sitting on a small piece of tire. Is that right?
Well, I guess I don't know at what level, what amount of negative camber can you call it stanced? I'm not sure what the rules are.
I don't know either.
But some of the cars are riding right on the corner, almost on the inner sidewall of the tire.
That's what I'm saying, yeah. And when I lived in Florida, now there was something down there I hadn't seen before when I first moved down there, and that was folks with import cars, Hondas or whatever, with the positive offset wheels. Now, not cambered or anything, just sticking way out.
Yeah, I remember that too.
6 or 8 inches from the wheel wells.
Yeah.
Really small diameter usually, very low profile tires.
Yep.
And to me, that was that can't possibly perform well because you're putting all the stress on the hub and all sorts of, what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're doing weird things to the handling of the car, obviously. But this is taking it to a different place to where, once you change that angle of the wheel and it's just riding on that small piece of rubber that's not meant to carry that much load of the vehicle. So that's where my head goes when I see that.
And I wonder, did that kind of develop or evolve from, suspension setups that are made for road racing and that sort of thing, where they do have a significant amount of negative camber and it has that look?
Yes, it has to. And that's what that's sort of, I guess, when I see it fly by me like I did that night, and it was a black car and the street lights were sort of shining off of it and it catching the rim of the wheel and everything, and it was sort of a spectacle to see. And when I saw it, you sort of get that a little bit.
Right.
Like that look of a true race car with that race suspension setup.
Yeah.
And that aggressive. But it's sort of a just an amped up car show version of that look.
Right. It's almost cartoonish.
Like a cartoonish, yeah. Exactly. That's exactly right.
Yeah. And hey, I support anybody who wants to modify their vehicles, and some people are into the look at me type of modifications. Like you say, I'm more of a function type of guy. I'm not gonna lie. There's some things I'm gonna do to my race car just because they look cool.
Yeah.
But it's mostly function over form, and but I can appreciate somebody who wants to modify their car in whatever way that they like best.
Yeah, so bottom line, Joe, let me sum it up. We're too old.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Yeah.
That's pretty much it. Well, Joe, I think, if I may, I think we've just created episode number 2.
That's twice as many episodes as we previously had.
I just hope everyone enjoys it. I mean, again, it was just thrilling to get it out there and see everybody's reactions and everyone checking it out. I mean, Joe and I were on the edge of our seat, hitting the submit button.
Oh yeah. It was a lot of fun to get it out there.
I know. Just know behind the scenes, Joe and I are just clicking buttons, making it happen. Joe's working the audio controls and everything and the recording, and we're just making it happen behind the scenes. And it's just lots of fun to do that and then to share it with all of you. And please do keep all your comments and questions, everything, feedback, whatever you got. We love all that. And I just wanted to mention next week we have a very special Christmas show.
Oh, it's that time of the year.
Yeah. Get the jingle bells out, Joe.
I do. I'm ready.
Oh, goodness. So look for that. And that's about it. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll talk to you again soon.
All right. See you next time, Joe.
See you, Tom.